I generally try to stay optimistic when encountering change, but I also believe it's important to remain authentic. So in this video, I'll be breaking down everything I believe to be wrong with Medium's recent changes and how I've adapted my writing strategy moving forward. Let's get into it. So if you have no idea what I'm talking about, in August of this year, Medium made some changes to their algorithm and partner program with two major goals in mind: to reduce clickbait and to promote authentic human storytelling. At first, I was very optimistic about these changes, as it's true that Medium has become overrun with a specific type of clickbaity content over the years. But after nearly 3 months of experimentation, I fear they've actually had the opposite result, not to mention many writers seeing a significant decrease in their earnings. And I believe this result hinges on 3 major issues. So in the past, Medium had an algorithm much like any other successful social media platform. You post a piece of content, if people like it, it is pushed out to a wider audience. If even more people like it, it's pushed out to an even wider audience, and so on and so forth, ensuing virality. Everyone's happy. In addition, Medium had a feature where Medium staff were able to choose specific articles to be distributed to an even wider audience, essentially giving them the power to promote specific types of content they liked and would like Medium to be known for. And in the eyes of the algorithm, the main metric that dictated whether people liked a piece of content or not was their attention, how long they spent on the article. Unfortunately, like anything in life, when there's an opportunity to earn money, people will learn how to game the system. And people started to write clickbaity articles that did not fulfill the promise of their headline. And many of the Medium readers began to complain. So a large part of Medium's recent changes have been to disincentivize clickbaity content as well as content made entirely by AI. The problem is, Medium's strategy to clean up the platform isn't to promote the type of content they want, but rather hide or disincentivize the type of content they don't. So instead of relying on attention as the sole metric to determine whether readers are enjoying the content or not, they have replaced it with read ratio and engagement, which consists of highlights, claps, and comments. They believe these metrics to more accurately display that of an engaged reader. But the problem is, an engaged reader is not necessarily a happy or interested reader. If you think of a clickbaity article, maybe one that promises how to make $10,000 in the next 10 seconds. You click on it hoping to learn how to make money fast. You skim to the end, you see that there is no tangible information, and it's essentially a lie to get you to click. So maybe out of irritation, you decide to highlight a line, you leave a comment, and you go on your merry way. Well, this collection of actions could very well tick all the boxes on Medium's algorithm that this is in fact a story worth reading, and it'll be pushed out to more readers. As much as Medium might not like it, all the successful social media platforms all use attention as their main metric, as it is the most powerful metric in determining what people are actually interested in. If they weren't interested, they wouldn't click and they wouldn't stay on it very long. Those writers who are creating clickbait content will be hidden in the algorithm, and the content that you would not like to promote will not be promoted naturally. If people like that content and continue to click on and stay on it for longer, that means that although you may not like it, that is content that people are interested in, and it's up to you to promote and highlight what you actually would like people to see. Not to mention, removing attention, that is average read time, from the algorithm prevents writers from understanding which articles are actually resonating with readers. At the end of the day, you can't control what people are interested in, and sometimes the reward for trying to control everything is the fact that you have to continue to control things moving forward, which in turn is having the opposite effect. So if you sign out of Medium and look at their homepage, you can see the types of stories they are promoting to new readers and anyone else that might be interested in the platform. You see lots of raw, authentic stories, political satire, humor, and the human condition, which again, is great. Medium has a vision. I fully support any company promoting their vision, and part of their vision is to not sell ads or promote the type of hollow content that has begun to seemingly dominate the rest of the internet. The problem is you can't force that vision, especially not when you grow to the scale when you have to earn a certain amount of money. So it's clear over the last few years, Medium has been trying to decide exactly where the revenue is going to come in and how they are going to continue to carry out their vision without having to sacrifice their integrity with adding ads to stories or selling out for investments from large corporations who may not share the same vision. And as of now, it seems they have landed on the idea to promote top quality content or content that they deem to be top quality in hopes that it will result in an influx of paid readers who will subscribe for $5 per month to have access to this specialized content. The problem again is it seems to come at the expense of the writers. In addition to promoting the type of content they would like, it also seems that Medium is trying to find ways to reduce the amount of revenue they're paying to writers. I first noticed this in an interview with Medium's CFO where he said this.
I can speak to the drop in earnings too. When you're coming from Google or from search, I think what was happening is that those visits were, for one reason or another, not as often longer visits, and so they often went back and bounced, and maybe it wasn't what they were looking for, and so they went to something else. And yet those still would accumulate some earnings. And now that the bar is a little higher, that's not happening.
So they've pulled away from organic search and the average consumer and want to hone in on a very specific audience, which is great if you write stories on those specific topics. But for writers who do not, it means that their stories aren't being pushed out to as many people, even if people want to read their writing. Instead of letting the algorithm and attention dictate the popularity of stories and ultimately how much a writer can earn, it's being controlled by their boosted feature. Essentially, a small group of boost nominators are able to select specific stories to be distributed to a broader audience. This small group of people, when compared to all the writers and readers on the platform, are handling all of the boosting, all of which fall under very specific guidelines. So if you're somebody that runs a tech page or you like to highlight business stories, you now have to tweak your content to include these specific metrics. This means not only do writers not get to express themselves authentically, but the readers don't get to read what they want. And it's all based on what I'm beginning to feel is a forced vision. Having a vision is great, but if the market's not accepting that vision, you have to tweak it. You have to give the people what they want, which again, going back to the algorithm, is exactly what attention reveals, what people want or are drawn to. So although I do like the effort to reduce clickbait, and actually the read ratio is a good metric for determining how many people are actually reading the content, the algorithm has to be self-sufficient, and attention is the only metric that can accurately reflect whether or not people are interested in the content or not. And because of this, what you're seeing is the opposite result, where people are beginning to hack engagement just to get their numbers up on Medium and ultimately earn more money. Just today, I received an email from Medium saying that they have been investigating a group of Medium writers who have been hacking engagement to earn more money, and that it has actually affected the income of other writers. Although they didn't announce this officially, I found a comment from Medium's CEO where he essentially outlined that Medium has been paying writers less for engagement that comes from writers who also engage with a lot of other writers on the platform. Their thought process for this was, If you are spreading too much engagement, that means that it's not authentic and therefore your engagement is worth less. All of these attempts to control specific actions as opposed to the overall ecosystem enacting the opposite effect that they want. It's why people like this.
What you can see on my medium.com dashboard here is over $2,393 made from the Medium Partner Program. And the crazy thing is that I didn't even write any of the articles myself.
Are able to be successful on Medium using entirely AI written content, despite AI being one of the habits that Medium is trying to prevent. So I kind of rambled on there, but to summarize from an outsider's perspective, not being in the know of exactly what is going on at Medium headquarters, it seemed as though Medium is looking for ways to save money and to push their vision, regardless of if it is welcomed by Medium readers and writers. Because of this, I have adapted my Medium strategy moving forward. For some background, I have been writing on Medium since 2019, and in the last year was able to work up to a consistent habit of earning around $1,000 to $2,000 each month, writing 2 to 3 articles per week. Now, the main thing I've noticed since Medium's changes is a significant decrease in my earnings. And these stem from my past library of content seems to not be pushed out to as many readers and has significantly impacted my earnings per month. And my new articles, although they earn a little bit more in the first week or so, seem to stop earning if they are not boosted. And I believe this is a direct result of attention being taken out of the algorithm, as not all of the readers on Medium know that they need to engage with content for it to be successful or don't care. Personally, if I didn't write on Medium, I would probably rarely leave comments on stories just because that's my nature. I like to consume content and I don't always have something to say. So as a result, I have stopped looking at Medium as a place to make a full-time or even a substantial part-time income and have began looking at it as a mental gym, a place where I can work out my ideas, I can write about my life and get paid for it. But in terms of using it for my base income, as I have been for the last year, I will now be moving my sights onto areas that I believe will be more profitable for me. I have adjusted my schedule to writing 1 article per week on Medium, aiming to get my stories boosted every time because that seems to be the only way to earn any substantial money on Medium. Last week, I received a boost on one of my stories. It's the first boost since Medium's new algorithm, and after the first week since it's boosting, it has earned around $500 USD, which on the surface may sound like a substantial amount of money, and for one article it is. It still comes down to a human deciding whether or not your article is worthy of a boost. So it's that human intervention that makes consistent income on Medium feel uncertain, and for that reason I will be continuing to post once per week, but putting my efforts into areas that I can be more certain of a consistent income. I will still continue to write on Medium because I love the community and share their vision of authentic storytelling and writers being paid for it. Hopefully they can adapt their algorithm to smooth out these speed bumps. That's basically it for this video. I know it's a lot of information. I would love to hear what you think in the comments. That's it for me. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.